Good morning, everybody. Lee Brower here, and welcome to this week's edition of Meaningful Monday. I am grateful to be here, and I am glad to be here. Last week, I gave you a 21-day potent gratitude challenge. I didn't really give it to you. I invited you to join me in my 21-day potent gratitude challenge. Now, why did I do that? Well, it's because so many of you, like me, have found that when you get into the habit of writing down, or you start a habit of writing down things that you're grateful for each day, after a while you start saying the same things over and over again. It becomes rote. As it becomes rote, it becomes less and less meaningful. So by looking at it through the eyes of potent, which I've talked to you about last time, but if you don't remember it, write it down. P is for people, O is for opportunity, T is for things, E is for experiences, N is for nature, and then my favorite is T is for thoughts. Okay, so now, so thank you so much that have joined me, but, let's talk about last week a little bit. As you start looking through the eyes of gratitude, I was on the road all of last week, and so I traveled through a lot of airports, went to a lot of different places, and I was keenly aware of the mood, if you will, the feeling, and I felt like there were so many people wrapped up in themselves, that all they were thinking about was themselves. They weren't thinking about the people around them. They didn't notice a lot of, what was going on. And it's very difficult to be in gratitude when you're like this. You see, in order to get out of this, you've got to open up. You've got to give. And when you give, now you can receive. See, if you're like this, you can't even receive until you open up and give. And that comes from a mindset. And the mindset is this: ask and you will see, and then act. ASA. If you just remember that, but you have to ask first. Can I see things today that I normally don't see in a way that I'm able to express gratitude that I normally don't express? Now, you may not get 3, you may only get 1, that's okay. You may get more, but I target 3, so I keep myself looking all day long. But as I look back on people, for example, could it be the time when I was in the bathroom, in a bathroom that I'm in all the time, and every time I go there, it's sparkling clean. You could almost eat off the floor in there. It's just super clean. And I think, wow, somebody's doing a great job. And it just so happened the janitor was in there at the latter part of the day, and I looked at him and said, "Are you responsible for this?" And he goes, "Yes." I said, "Congratulations. You have no idea when you walk into a great bathroom, the difference that you're making in the mood and the things that are going on there. You're part of the experience, and thank you for making this a great experience." Or maybe it's Marina, who works behind the scenes all the time, and nobody really notices her because she's just making life easy for us. All of the snacks and the beverages and the, waiting around and doing things for us that we don't normally see. But to be able to bring her out front and really acknowledge her and let her know brought tears to her eyes. And by opening up, it also brought a heart full of feeling here. And you see, when you're coming around the world this way, you become an attractant. And you attract greater opportunities and relationships to yourself. Or maybe it was little Gemma all the way from Australia, a young teenage girl with her dad, coming to Strategic Coach in Chicago to see what it was like. A whole world opens up to her, but when I got to meet her, her eyes were riveted, not on me, they were riveted on her dad. As her dad talked, I could see the love that this little girl had for her father. And it warmed my heart, and I had to express it. I asked, I saw, I acted. And it just felt so good. Or maybe it was Blake. Blake, who was out there kind of skipping class, if you will, but I saw that he was sitting with little Gemma and talking to her, and keeping her company and just being so loving with her. And he got up and actually gave her a little round the track in the hallways there just to kind of loosen her up because he knew she was there. His arms were open. His arms were open. As a result, he attracted greater opportunities and greater relationships into his life. And when your arms are open, it makes all the difference in the world. Perhaps it was the letter that I wrote to my wife, and I didn't do it on a text because I wanted her to hear my thoughts. I wanted her to feel the thoughts that I had for her, and I worked hard at expressing them in a way that I thought that would be meaningful to her. Just by asking, all of a sudden these doors open up. And then, and to acknowledge, I want to acknowledge somebody else, Nan Zimdars. She's an amazing artist. She's an entrepreneur who is now devoting most of her time to artistry, but she knows how much the Grand Canyon means to me. And this is a picture from the north side of the Grand Canyon, looking back, a place where I've stood many times And with tears in her eyes, she presented this to me, and I tell you, tears in my eyes too. It's some amazing gratitude. I just love the power, and I mean the power and the clarity and the energy that gratitude brings. And so I challenge you, if you haven't joined us, join us for the next 21 days from now. From when you hear this, the next 21 days, start writing it down. And if you want an accountability partner, send it to me. I'll respond to you. But find an accountability partner. Get a couple of you and you do it together. And watch and see if the world doesn't open up to you. Have a wonderful week. Thank you for being with me this week. I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.